The internet is a big dumpster.
In this world, accessible of kindness and ethical blindness. So please excuse my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Mr. Bistro fraternity guy, you got my ass with bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to the side to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, was so impressed. Lots of chicks in a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch for punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planets. Well, I just can't understand it. Fucker defined by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guy's finished. You're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. She lives in a pool of blood and crying. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Comatose, I'll pack your bags. Bury you like castrated and gagged. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of you are assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Tom's a nice guy. All of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. The public dominant. Put a body by deception and lies. Social Darwinism there's a minute overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics. Don't let the bloody pill quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guy's finished first.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do the show live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch. Twitch.tv/EchoPlexMedia. You can support this project. Just go to EchoPlexMedia.com, click that support tab, and pick your favorite way to support the show. I like cash money and, of course, merch, like this tinfoil hat that I'm wearing. Been selling really well. Anyway, enough about that. This is what the people want.
I don't hate the cops. There's a person inside when the truncheon stops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Oh, when the raiders come, who will protect the shops? Don't hate the cops. They're a sensitive bunch. If you don't stop throwing your rocks, snap, crackle, pop is the sound of a taser. Your body drops. Don't hate the cops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops. Oh, don't hate the cops. thank your local police. Cause they don't do nothing wrong, thank your local police. Got rid of the corruption and the racism is gone. They've been keeping the peace, keeping homeless folks out of the parks and malls. Got a cure for your social disease. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. 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 Put your hands above your head and show you're not afraid. I'm the fairest judge that your skin color's gonna get. And if you die before the sun comes up, the paperwork will take forever. Well, it might have worked out a little bit better if you didn't hate the cops. Cause they don't do nothing wrong, don't hate the cops. You can't blame them for just doing their job, don't hate the cops. Well, you gotta wonder, how much would it cost for you to be shot at and stabbed at by maniacs and drunks? Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops.
Well, if there's one person in the world who knows what the rappers are into, it's the praying medic, Dave Hayes.
He puts out the mugshot, and now all the rappers and hip hop artists are all like, "Man, Trump, man, he's one of our, he's like us, man. He's got his mugshot out there. He's
Whoa, okay, dude.
by the DOJ, like the rest of us." He's now identifying with a larger audience. You know what I think would be amazing is if while President Trump is doing the rallies that he's going to be doing in the next year, I think it would be really cool if he would take some time, go into the inner cities of Detroit, Philadelphia, DC, Los Angeles, go into some of the inner cities, Seattle, just places where he normally doesn't go. Go hang out in the hood, hang out in the ghettos.
What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Those people. If he
Hold on, yo.
DC, Los Angeles, go into some of the inner cities, Seattle, just places where he normally doesn't go. Go hang out in the hood, hang out in the ghettos, and bond with those people. If he does that, I think he would have a massive groundswell of support from minority communities.
I don't think Trump's going to go hang out in the hood. That was pretty strongly racially coded. Dave Hayes, the praying medic. That's what's not going to happen. There, he's not going to go to Detroit, or he might have a rally in LA, but he ain't having a rally in Detroit. DC. I mean, President Trump has been in DC, or former President Trump. Sorry, he's been in DC. He was the president. That's where his house was. He chose not to go to the hood. Oh, get the fuck out of here! Dude, the hip hop community didn't just all of a sudden get behind him because he got arrested. It's not like he got arrested for like cocaine trafficking or something cool like that. Up next, we got John Eastman's lawyer. He's like, we weren't really trying to obstruct so much as just impose a short delay, just a little delay. What's a little delay among friends?
What I recommended, and I've said this repeatedly, is that he accede to requests from more than 100 state legislators in the swing states to give them a week to try and sort out the impact of what everybody acknowledged was illegality in the conduct of the election.
I'll note that everyone did not acknowledge that. But is he not explicitly admitting there that he did want to impede the certification of presidential electors on that day?
No, not at all. His advice, as he said, so the Vice President Pence, was not to impede the certification or somehow try to obstruct it or block it. His advice, and he stated this many times before that interview, was simply to impose a short delay in the process to allow the state legislators who weren't then in session to have one more look at the situation before reporting back to Congress, and then it would go back to Congress to make the ultimate decision. That was
never trust a man in a bow tie.
It remains his view today that was appropriate. It's not obstruction. It's not impeding. It's not anything of that.
But it is impeding if you're saying to stop the process, and no vice president has ever delayed the certification of the electors before, right?
No, not at all. I mean, the suggestion that the process not be stopped, but that there be a delay is not unique to Dr. Eastman. There were senators that suggested something very similar. There were members of Congress. There's prior scholarship from other academic types that suggested such an option might be available to the vice president, and Dr. Eastman.
Yeah, but the Constitution says otherwise.
It doesn't. What provision of the Constitution?
Are you worried that those?
Yeah, it does. It says they're talking about the word shall on. I will forget what day it is. They shall certify the election. It doesn't say they might. It doesn't say they might could. It says they shall. So what I'm wondering here is, which one of these motherfuckers is going to be the first one to break, to be like, nope, not worth spending the rest of my life in prison over this shit, because it's going to be one of them. And then after the first one does, I think it's gonna like, it's like on a dance floor, right? Like if you're at a party and there's kind of a lot of people there or whatever, and there's a DJ and there's music, but there's nobody on the dance floor, that first person who shows up on the dance floor and starts dancing, then the second one shows up pretty quickly, and then the third one shows up. And I just wonder how many people are going to dance, because I feel like it's going to be like half of them, because I don't see there's no upside, right, for going down to like protect this guy, because I think he's unlikely to win the next general election. So he's not going to be able to pardon these people. And I think that the other thing is like the one in Georgia it's a state case, so he can't pardon them anyway because that's a state case. So I don't see, like, there's no upside. I just don't think for any of these people, and I think they're going to realize that real quick. So and here's the Trump campaign, maybe not doing so great. Here, let's check this out.
I want to thank you, Mr. President. Terry.
We do our thing, we support you, and we also fight against the people trying to get you.
And we love you.
We also spew out statutes and laws against anyone fighting against us, because that's what law of the land is, what rules, so they can't fight with me. Obviously, they can't fight with you. This is America. You don't like it.
I got your back.
That kept a lot of people away from
And they can't even get a very loud PA. What happens when union people won't work for you?
But in the meantime, you're with us.
Also, he's not looking so good. Not looking so good. Looking a little like L. Ron Hubbard in that clip, if I'm going to be completely honest there. So that was one of the leaders of Bikers for Trump. You couldn't really hear any of what they were saying. Not going so great. And here's their one of their campaign buses. This clip is from the mayor, our friend the Mayor McCheese. Everybody, make sure you're following the mayor. Although if you're watching me on Twitch, you're probably already following the mayor. And if you're listening on the audio only version, you're like, who the fuck is Mayor McCheese? Well, I mean, we know who that is, but they're like, who is that on the internet? That's T-Mayor_McCheese on Twitter. So here's their tour bus. You'll notice it's not exactly big. Sort of looks like
go Brandon Trump make America.
Sort of looks like one of the RVs that that the Queen of Canada has.
Again.
They want to know a little bit about J6.
Well, there's a lot to tell.
Yes.
What do we want to know?
Everything.
Well,
There's no AC on the bus.
forget the man who died gave that right to me. While we were in that heat trap, I wish we were on the other side of it or the wind would blow the other way. Where at least I know. Thank you.
This for my show tonight.
Well, we can't see you, Rudy.
Hey, and I need a question. If this were bikers for Biden.
Ladies and gentlemen, bicycles for Biden! Bicycles for Biden!
I mean, they're probably not wrong. I bet most of the bike party people all across the land probably vote Democrat.
President
When Trump is president.
would put Antifa, but they take others and they throw them in the tank. You know, they cheat like hell, and everybody knows. You know, whether you even just go to modern day cheating, because if you just go toward the end where they had Twitter FBI, they call it Twitter files, where you had the DOJ working with
There's just not a lot of people there. There's a lot of bikes, but not a lot of people.
Tell us all about it.
We did it.
We did it.
The
We
flag
did
is
it.
inside.
What did you do it?
Flag went inside.
The flag went inside.
Where's his autograph on the J6?
And we all got the
What did you do?
J6. I don't even know where that is, but we'll find it.
Spread it out.
President Trump.
Yeah, good job, you guys. Good job.
it's right there.
Here, hold on.
They're not playing the Eye of the Tiger, really.
Got it all.
Let's go. Where is it?
Not going so great. It's like a parody of a presidential campaign. And I know these were like, clipped out, and I know he still draws kind of like bigger crowds at rallies, but that's kind of funny. I don't know if maybe that was a private event with the Bikers for Trump or whatever, and I do understand the symbolism of the short bus. And then they got on there and it wasn't even air conditioned. My God. I don't even know if he was on the bus or if it was just a bus that they got wrapped up. Unsure, but they're looking a little more like the Queen of Canada's entourage than anything else these days. Up next is here's a clip from Rudy Giuliani's like fundraiser event, but it's a little bit odd because have you ever considered buying a condo on the beach in North Korea? I know I haven't, but anything's possible. The world is constantly changing.
I went over there. You remember that? It was a very historic moment. Went over there. And I said to Kim Jong-un, being a real estate guy, it's just sort of natural. I said, you have the most beautiful shoreline. Think of it. You're between China, Russia, and South Korea. Look at the beautiful shore. You could have the most beautiful condos that you've ever seen and become rich as hell. You don't have to live like you're living. But he's a tough guy, he's a smart guy, and he just loves collecting nuclear weapons. That's what he does. He collects nuclear weapons, and we got along incredibly well once we met and once we started the whole thing. And we saved the Olympics in South Korea because nobody was going. Nobody wanted to be blown out of the stadium. And we came along. They actually participated in the Olympics. We had a great relationship, and it would have been great if we would have had a deal done long ago if the election weren't rigged.
Imagine going over there and telling a fucking communist, because the dude's a communist, right? That's a communist state. Like, it is an authoritarian state, an authoritarian communist state, being like, just do some condos. That's something like rich people from other countries could, I don't know, come buy a condo. Like, what the fuck? But first of all, I'm guessing that conversation didn't happen as it was described, right? He might have said that it was a nice shoreline and it would be cool to put condos there, but I'm not sure he suggested that Kim Jong-un put condos there to get rich. You don't have to live the way you're living. Get the fuck out of here. Like, this guy's, have you ever seen the inside of the Trump's house? I mean, it's pretty fucking awful too. It's just awful in a different way. Inside of his place looks a little bit like that movie Brazil, like a rich person in that movie Brazil would have. Anyway, here's Eric Trump. My dad, the black people really like my dad.
And now you're seeing certain segments of the population, like the African-American segment of the population, who are coming out and saying they've done the same crap that they're doing to Donald Trump. They've done it to us for years. They've indicted us for nonsense. They've thrown the legal system at us. They haven't given us a chance in hell. It's been a rigged system. they've literally made my father a martyr with certain segments of the population that they otherwise, claim to own. And
why I love seeing it, because there's so many prophetic words talking about this.
It was incredibly racist. I don't think I have to explain why. Just like, black people love him because he got arrested. It was pretty racist.
The very thing, what God's been saying was going to happen is now unfolding. And that's why we are all sitting there and we're just standing here and we're just like, no matter what these people are doing, they are the ones who will be exposed. No matter what they're going to do and no matter what they're going to try to do to your dad, it will not go the way they want it. It will not go the way they want it, because God's on his side. And he's called him his David. He said his anointed is appointed one. He said it more than once. He continually say it. I've had so many different prophetic words regarding your father. And the Lord, I've cried because I knew the love that God has for him, the love that God has for your family. And I could just feel it. And it's like, he's not going to forsake you, and he's not going to let this continue. And no matter what.
So the gal on the left is a prophet Julie Green. And she does these videos where she's like, here's what God told me. It's kind of like those Kat Kerr videos where she claims she like went up to heaven and brings back a report of what's going on in heaven. It's pretty wild. And she used to be Donald Trump's spiritual advisor, but even that didn't really work out so well for her, because she's crazy. She's fucking out of her fucking mind. And it's great seeing her living her best life, I guess. Living her best life. So this next one, this person, it seems a little detached from reality, but I kind of actually like her. I would get drunk with her.
Oh, Annie Trump. Are you a Trump? Is that?
Well, I want to be.
Yeah, well,
Donald, I think.
We could all be cousins somewhere down the line,
right? All right. Are we on RSBN?
Yeah, we're live right now.
Nice. I want a farm all, a John Deere, a case, more oil.
Drill, baby, drill. Yes, thank you. Good seeing you. She's excited to be here. Annie Trump.
Yes.
Yep, there you go.
I mean, she's cooked as fuck, but I like her energy. She's like drunk as shit in the middle of the afternoon talking to RSBN. That's kind of cool. Up next, we got Kristi Noem on the possibility of being Trump's running mate, because who knows what's going to happen. I am guessing if he gets the nomination, I'm thinking he's going to probably try to pick a woman, but I don't think it'll be Kristi Noem. I think he might pick Carrie Lake.
Who were asked, you would consider it, at least.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I would in a heartbeat, just because, you respect the position and the person who asks you to do something, and then see if you really believe that you could make a difference. President Trump needs a strong partner if he's going to take back the White House, and he's going to need somebody who knows what it's like to run a business, to be an employee, earn a paycheck, but also having a wife, mom, and a grandma isn't bad either. And I think that kind of perspective would weigh in very well on a lot of policy decisions.
Well, who were asked, you would consider it, at least.
I don't think he would pick her, just because I don't think she's crazy enough. But who knows? Anything's possible. We'll see how it all shakes out. The primaries haven't even started yet, so when people start voting and stuff, it could be that the polling is off too, and we might see this a little closer than we thought it would be. But it ain't going to be Vivek Ramaswamy, and it ain't going to be Chris Christie. Anyway, up next, here's a Fox News host talking about the rise and fall of one Mr. Rudolph Giuliani.
Now, I want to turn to Rudy Giuliani. A judge the other day found him liable in a civil suit brought by two Georgia election workers, Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss. Damages yet to be determined, but here is Ruby Freeman testifying before the January 6th committee.
Now I won't even introduce myself by my name anymore. I've lost my name, and I've lost my reputation. I've lost my sense of security, all because a group of people, starting with number 45 and his ally, Rudy Giuliani, decided to scapegoat me and my daughter Shay to push their own lies.
Do you see in the coverage a sense of payback that many people at other news organizations are saying, oh, this is great, Rudy Giuliani finally got what was coming to him, as opposed to, he's a pretty big name, had been a mayor, had been the president's lawyer, and reporting it more neutrally?
I think that a lot of the media has really relished covering the downfall of Rudy Giuliani, and this is sort of the culmination of that process, which has been underway, I think, for years now. I also think that, put it this way, I also think that some of the coverage he has brought upon himself. It's not exactly the case that he's a wallflower who shies away.
He's a confrontational guy.
He has incited a lot of this, and a lot of the, he really enjoys media confrontations.
Everybody's written the rise and fall story. He's now broke. But let me close by asking you, these women were put through hell, accused falsely of tampering with ballots. They'd done nothing wrong. And I wonder whether maybe this story resonates a little bit more, because it's not about something abstract. It's about the human impact on these two people who were sort of pawns in this whole melodrama.
This was certainly not a victimless crime, right? It's one thing to allege in the January 6th case that the victim is the United States of America. People struggle to deal with abstract
classified documents.
This is right. This is very personal. It comes down to these two women and the way that these allegations impacted their lives and their families. And I think when you put a human face to stories like this, it's always a lot more compelling. It's easier to be sympathetic towards them.
That was actually a good segment from Fox. I think they were trying to act like, oh, they're just going after Rudy because they don't like him at the beginning. But then towards the end there, yeah, the lady, the woman who was on the show, she was like, well, this is like people are more inclined to think that this is they're more inclined to understand it, I suppose, right? They're more inclined to empathize and to think that this is pretty bad, because what if it was you? What if you just signed up to work at an election center and now all of a sudden you have powerful people claiming you're in on some big conspiracy? And then you got to move, you got to tell people a different name when you're out and about just because you don't know who's who and what's what. So yeah, people are going to maybe understand it on like a more personal level. That was a pretty okay segment. At least part of it was. Now, if you remember last week, we had a clip of Peter Navarro. He had a woman behind him with a sign, and he tried to grab the sign, and the woman was like, you don't want to catch another charge because trying to steal somebody's sign is technically assault. And that was pretty funny. She's like, you got enough problems. Oh yeah. And on the, somebody in chat was like, Trump said this woman's name over and over again at rallies. They just won their suit against Rudy Giuliani. I feel like maybe they're coming for DT next. Hopefully they do. I hope, after what they went through, I hope they never have to work a day in their lives and they live a good, long, healthy, happy life in a nice home with some fucking nice cars. Or maybe they're just a bus pass if they really like the city and want to live like in Manhattan. I don't know what their deal is. But anyway, here's another clip of Peter Navarro dealing with protesters. This is great. These people are just fucking absolutely fucking destroying Peter Navarro.
Witness stand is inside.
Thank you. WW.
You gotta talk?
This is what's wrong with America here. www.defendpeter.com.
She's having so much fun. Let's start this over. I know for people on the audio only, you got to check out the video of this. It's in the show notes that you can grab, or you just check out the video of this show on like YouTube or Odyssey or whatever. The visual here is just the audio does not do this justice.
Witness stand is inside.
Thank you. WW.
You
This is what's wrong with America here. www.defendpeter.com. Defend.
Come on, man. I love her. Let the man talk, man. She's just out there living her best life. She's laughing. She ain't mad. She's like, this is fun.
Let him talk, man.
It's great.
He has every right to talk. Come on, don't do that, man. Let the man talk, man. Let the man talk.
Please play this.
Let him talk.
On your channels.
Oh, we will. We played the beginning of it twice, sir. This is not the what you think it is. People aren't going to be like, oh, that woman was so rude. Everybody going to be laughing at you, Peter Navarro, because this is very funny.
This is just wrong. I'm trying to speak about serious constitutional issues with you. Clown with a whistle, witch with a broom. You go figure. So, defendpeter.com. Please go there. Help support this fight against the attack on the separation of powers. These trials are very expensive.
Peter's using my image to grift off me. Send me money. Continue.
These trials are very expensive. That's part of the Democrats' lawfare against us.
All right, come on, dude. Come on, dude.
Kidnapped, raped, and almost murdered by a white supremacist gang after he doxed me.
Yeah, it's time to go. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully...
Tomorrow, sir. Same time, same place.
Hopefully.
She's really under his skin.
You don't like that.
I love her. Anybody know who that is? We should see if we can get her on just to talk for a few minutes about like what she's doing there. I mean, there's not much to talk about. We'd just be like congratulating her and shit. But like somebody in chat just said a moment ago that like if you want to have a press conference and not get interrupted, you can rent a space. There are even like cheap spaces you could rent. You could get somebody to let you do it, and even in the fucking parking lot of their place. And then you can have people removed. There are probably places that would do it for free, but this guy's like, oh, I'm just going to do it on the sidewalk. Well, motherfucker, you're on the sidewalk, aren't you? And you know what happens on the sidewalk? Other people are on the sidewalk. That's what happens on the fucking sidewalk. So I love her. You know, what she's doing is kind of rude, but that's even better. I think like rude and snarky and sort of trolling these people. And to some extent, not really taking them very seriously is like the way to go, because a guy like Peter Navarro has spent his career being taken seriously by people, even though we've sort of on and off been covering him. And I didn't, we never really thought he was a person to be taken incredibly seriously. But, he gets on the news and they let him talk. And then all of a sudden he gets defeated by a whistle. And that's the same lady again last week where he tried to grab her sign. And then she's like, bro, you're already facing charges. So then on this week's sign, she wrote, bro, you're already facing charges. There's another video. It was kind of unclear what happened, where it looked like one of his people tried to take her sign again. But it was so unclear what happened in that video because I think the person filming it actually ended up trying to intervene to stop them from doing it. So I couldn't really run that video. But I couldn't. It's not that I couldn't run it. I decided not to because it was hard to see what was going on. So up next, we got there was this Twitter space that's been happening with a bunch of people who have been like having folks call in from the DC jails and stuff. And I've been kind of hanging out in this other Twitter space run by these two hella cool black ladies who are just like, they'll pipe the audio through from the other Twitter space and just clown for hours. So here's some of the response in the first Twitter space that I talked about when the verdicts came down on the Proud Boys, and it's cathartic, I suppose, would be the the best way to describe it.
Al Cheney just tweeted that Zachary Real was found guilty. Dario was found guilty of seditious conspiracy. That's all I've got.
Okay, guys.
If there's no chocolate in the ice cream, share it with the cat. This is a momentous occasion.
Maybe we all need to take a breath for just a second. Oh, goodness.
It's not good. No. You guys, honest to God, I'm so sorry, Lisa.
Hey, so I'm sending you screenshots of a bunch of fucking asshole pieces of shit.
I know, I'm trying to
that
get
are in
rid
this
of them
group right now.
I know.
I'm scrubbing through.
They're trying to kick everybody out. This reminds me of like every chemtrails Telegram group I'm in, right? And I know that, you know, we'll start this over because this is amazing. This will be the second time we started something over this week. This reminds me of every chemtrails a Telegram group I'm in, because they're like, there's like no engagement and there's hundreds of people in these groups. So it's clearly mostly people like me that are just in there to like find some tidbits and make fun. So they're in some of these Telegram groups. Some of the discussion is about finding and scrubbing the trolls out of their group. But the thing is, none of us are in there trolling. We're just in there like trying to find links and shit. So let's start this one over. This is great. And for people listening on the podcast, this is kind of cute too, because there's a, you know, kind of a pretty lady eating ice cream, and her cat keeps trying to eat the ice cream. And while she watches this clip of this, which was again pulled by the mayor, our friend Mayor McCheese.
Al Cheney just tweeted that Zachary Real was found guilty. Dario was found guilty of seditious conspiracy. That's all I've got.
The cat can have some ice cream as a treat. Actually, I think there's chocolate sauce on there, so she shouldn't give any to the kitty.
Okay, guys. Maybe we all need to take a breath for just a second. Oh, goodness.
It's not good. No. You guys, honest to God, I'm so sorry, Lisa.
Hey, so I'm sending you screenshots of a bunch of fucking asshole pieces of shit.
I know, I'm trying to
that
get
are in
rid
this
of them
group right now.
I know.
I'm scrubbing through, and these motherfuckers need to be removed.
Hey, I'm going to add you.
especially-
Listen, Coco, can I add you as a co-host to help me out here?
Absolutely, because I'll start fucking blocking these assholes.
Hey, I'm gonna step in here real quick. If there's
You found sedition hunter, motherfucker. Like, yo. So what happens, right? They in these things, I don't know if it happened on this one, but inevitably they're like overrun with people that are like trolling and doing like people that are trolling. So they eventually somebody will get in there and just act like they're one of them, and then that person will get like moderator privileges or whatever, and then they'll start unblocking all the fucking people that the other people blocked. Oh, it's always amazing, because it's like you know, we're just better at this shit than they are, like kind of infiltrating, and our OPSEC is generally better than theirs. So it's fucking amazing. If you ever get a chance, maybe I'll try to remember to put in the show notes a link to the Twitter space that I often listen to while I'm like doing other work, because it's the people clowning on these people are just so funny. I think it's like these two like older black ladies, and like there's just like ain't no clown like getting clowned on by an older black lady. I'm sorry. So we're going to move on here. We got one Mr. Ron DeSantis. I think he's going to say something here that I don't think a lot of his supporters are going to really like as much as he would think that they will.
But one thing that the pro-life movement is about is supporting vulnerable women. Senator Rubio has proposed the Unborn Child Care, or a Child Protection Act, that would essentially give child support from the moment of conception. Is that something you'd consider? It would force states to force men to give women what they're due from the moment of conception.
These men, look, most of these women do not want to have abortions, but they feel like they have no other options because they get no support. And that's because a lot of these men are nowhere to be found. They should absolutely be providing support. They should absolutely be held accountable. What we've done in Florida is we've recognized that being pro-life means for the whole kit and caboodle. So we've expanded postpartum medical care for poor women to a full year after they have a child. We've also done things to advance options for foster care and adoption, because that is something that we want to be able to foster. I think a lot of it comes down to whether women think it's financially feasible to do that. And when they don't get support from the father, then it can be overwhelming.
So Ron made a pretty, this is a miscalculation on his part, to the extent that he has support. A lot of his support are like sort of meme bros, like there's a lot of like kind of men's rights activist types that are like sort of there's no 4chan. 4chan isn't what it once was, but it's like a lot of 4chan people, a lot of Gamergate like rejects and shit are the people who really like Ron DeSantis. So he made a fucking major miscalculation there because those people hate alimony and child support. Like they absolutely fucking hate it. So up next we got a Fox and Friends 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 clip here. They think Matt Gaetz is going to force an impeachment vote on Joe Biden, and the problem is, I don't think they would even get the votes in the House for it, because I think a lot of Republicans would break and just vote no or abstain from voting because it's a non-starter, and a lot of them who are like maybe more moderate or whatever were complaining about the fact that they tried to impeach the last president. And so some of them might just be like, well, I can't really do this. So let's see what Fox and Friends and Friends and Friends and Friends has to say about this.
Matt Gaetz is threatening now to force an impeachment vote. He wants Joe Biden impeached, and he says he will oust Kevin McCarthy if he continues to slow walk.
Who would he put there? Right. Steve Scalise?
You're not going to oust Kevin McCarthy. He has the votes.
Dealing with blood cancer right now? Is there anybody else? This is what Matt Gaetz is just speaking into the wind. Just look at McCarthy's slot. He's not slow walking.
What's up with Kilmeade's has he been like living in a tanning bed?
He only has a small
He was
margin.
one of the holdouts. Remember when they were trying to get the votes for McCarthy? He was one of the
votes. Have Matt Gaetz pick up the phone and call some moderate Republicans and see if he can switch to his side. McCarthy would be more than happy to let him do that.
Well, this is not the first impeachment push we have seen with this Republican Congress. Lauren Boebert, the Republican from Colorado, did it back in June.
I think
over the border. And where did that go? That wound up, those articles of impeachment wound up in a committee where they are sitting.
Don't you think that Republicans would be for this if there is more information, if they can get to the bottom, if Comer can get proof and he can get to the bottom of that, then Republicans would be all for it. But they definitely need that proof in order to start an impeachment.
As we were talking about, the people, the Republicans in those districts that Joe Biden won, they've got to be able to say, look, I voted for it because look at this. It shows that there was corruption, actual corruption, not just bank records, but things that show that laws were broken. So far, Comer and company have not been able to. But
it's so overwhelming.
Like when even Fox and Friends is being like, dude, you're being stupid. Like, because that's kind of what they said. They're like, this isn't going to go anywhere. This is not, the last one didn't even make it out of committee. I think they know it's a loser, and it's just going to make them look kind of petty. It's just bad politics to try to do this right now. Who knows what's going to come next? Who knows what happens after the next election? I mean, we could be in a situation where, Biden wins the general election, but that the Senate flips and the House is even further to the Republican side, and then maybe they'll get impeachment out of the House. But to convict in the Senate, you still need a supermajority. So they're still not going to be able to do it. Anyway, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene keeps making ads for Joe Biden by accident.
Lyndon B. Johnson is very similar to Joe Biden. His big socialist programs were the Great Society. The Great Society were big government programs to address education, medical care, urban problems, rural poverty, transportation, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and welfare, the Office of Economic Opportunity, and big labor and labor unions. Now, LBJ had the Great Society, but Joe Biden had Build Back Better, and he still is working on it. The largest public investment in social infrastructure and environmental programs that is actually finishing what FDR started, that LBJ expanded on, and Joe Biden is attempting to complete.
That was created by the Lincoln Project. Fuck the Lincoln Project. But they're good at one thing, and that's dunking on Donald Trump, which is amazing because the cool thing about the 2016 primaries and the debates was watching Donald Trump just absolutely dunk on these dumb fuck Republicans that were running against him. Like they couldn't do anything about it. So it's kind of neat to see him sort of having the same thing happen to him. sort of, but I just wish it wasn't the Lincoln Project because I don't like those guys. Anyway, up next we got Ted Cruz is complaining about getting questions about Mitch McConnell's health.
Your colleague, Mitch McConnell, he returned to the Senate floor yesterday. Obviously, we wish him the best health-wise, but let's watch a brief clip from some of his remarks.
Now, one particular moment of my time back home has received its fair share of attention in the press over the past week. But I assure you, August was a busy and productive month.
Obviously, we should point out that he's had some remarks earlier today, and no visible issues there. Have you heard anything about these health concerns? But also, are you concerned?
Well, listen, the two recent health scares that Mitch had, those were concerning, obviously. I've been praying for him. Heidi's been praying for him. I'll tell you this.
How's that working?
Is stubborn as a mule. He and I have disagreed on a lot of issues, but he's been in the Senate a long time, and I'm hoping he comes to a full and speedy recovery. I got to say, Carl, one of the things that's striking, so the Senate's been back in session for the last 2 days. In the last 48 hours, without exaggeration, I probably have gotten upwards of 50 to 75 questions from the Capitol Hill reporters, all about Mitch McConnell, Mitch McConnell, Mitch McConnell. And to all of the reporters, I just can't help but laugh. And I say, I'm curious, why have I gotten more questions in 2 days about Mitch McConnell's health than we've heard in 2.5 years about Joe Biden's obvious mental decline? Joe Biden has his finger on the nuclear button. He's the commander in chief, and none of the Capitol Hill press wants to address the very serious mental infirmity. Not to mention more than one Democrat senator who has very significant health issues as well, and yet the press has utter and complete silence on those issues as well.
And he just got up and walked out of a Medal of Honor ceremony just yesterday. It was unbelievable.
So he mentioned Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein been there too long, but is not running for re-election. I think she should have not run for re-election last time, but she is not running for re-election. Mitch McConnell has made no noises in that direction. Joe Biden actually this week had a pretty good week. People were like, oh, he ended a thing saying he was going to bed. But then we were like, well, we found out it was like a little after 10 p.m. a local time where he was at, and he'd been traveling. Like, yeah, some people go to bed at 10 p.m. I mean, you can go after Joe Biden for a lot of shit. And his mind isn't as fast as it once was. I'm not gonna pretend that he's the same guy that was had that debate with Paul Ryan in what was it 2000? I think it was 2012, where he was just cheesing the whole time and making fun of Paul Ryan and shit. He ain't the same guy. Not the same guy. But that wasn't the news story this week. Nobody gets to decide what the news cycle is. Like even like Fox can't decide, Newsmax can't decide. We certainly don't get to decide what the news cycle is, because if we did decide what the news cycle is, mainstream media would just be running that Kay Griggs video all fucking day. If you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you hang out late night sometimes. I'm talking to you podcast listeners. Up next, we got basically the military. People in the military are starting to get mad that Congress is holding up promotions within the military. And we don't love the military around here, but it's really odd that the GOP, who is usually like banging the war drum and saying, oh, we love our troops, they're holding up this stuff because they're, I don't know, mad about a great number of things.
Obviously, we're still at such a standstill. What's the solution here? What's the next step?
Yeah. Well, really, I mean, I would refer you to the Senate, to the Congress, to answer that question. You know, I've been asked before to try to put this into context in terms of why does this matter? And, you know, with football season starting, I would say imagine going into the football season with a bunch of acting coaches for each of our teams, with a regulation that limits any of those acting coaches from presuming that he or she was actually going to officially lead the team. And those acting coaches who come up through the organization are now responsible for not only being the offensive and defensive coordinators, but also acting as the head coach. And so in the short term, they're likely going to make things happen because that's what good leaders do. But what happens when performance on the field becomes impacted over time? How are you going to deal with the uncertainty of within the coaching staff and the locker room in terms of who's in charge, how are we going to affect performance, and then who are the fans going to hold accountable?
So I think like right now, I think the GOP is making a giant mistake. And I know it's just basically one guy holding all this up. It's Tuberville. But like they're making a big fucking mistake because like historically military, at least active duty military, have tended to vote for Republicans. And, you know, if they start finding out that like, you know, their buddy who's just like one or two steps above them is now taking on 2 or 3 jobs because some asshole in the Senate won't like promote them and then promote someone else to another job and shit. They're gonna start thinking maybe we might change our voting patterns because people are like interfering with our jobs. And you know, I'm not military readiness and shit. Fuck off. Okay, well, so we can't go start another war. But like after a while, yeah, the institution starts to have some problems, and we don't really want the largest military power in the world to be like have like leadership issues. No, you know, I'm sure most people who are listening to this generally agree with me on like the military being too big and all that. But with that being the case, you really don't want there being leadership issues because then things start having some real fucking problems. You get a couple fucking cowboys in there who think they just use your imagination, I suppose. Here we got more on this. This is from CNN, and I believe this is retired General Wesley Clark on CNN.
How does this ever get resolved?
Well, first of all, of course, it's a national security problem, and not only is it blocking promotions and assignments and policy changes and preparation for potential war against China and military assistance.
No, yo, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, what I want them to do is not prepare for war against China, actually. Let's go ahead and not do that.
Ukraine and its ongoing war. But it's brought politics into this. This is about a political issue.
The military is political.
Close to Senator Tuberville's heart, apparently, which is to prevent women from having control of their own bodies. And so it's the worst kind of reason for a hold on promotions. Now, what can be done, what normally would be done, is every federal program that's going to Alabama would be choked off. And you'd make a private issue of this. You go to the leadership in the Senate. You tell Mitch McConnell, if you don't crack down on this, we're going to take away your programs in Kentucky. This is hardball. He wants to play hardball. He's a football coach. He's going to get hardball thrown back at him. And that's what this administration needs to do. I know it's been building for weeks. The administration hoped it would go away, doesn't want to have a fight, but it's time to have a fight on this one, I believe. This is getting increasingly serious. Tuberville's way out of line. And you know, Alabama is one of these states that's really proud of being patriotic. I don't see how citizens from Alabama can support their senator who's sabotaging the leadership of the United States Armed Forces.
Well, so obviously Alabama's not going to elect a Democrat, right? But there's space in there for somebody to go in and primary this guy and be like, look, a lot of you know, are homeowners and were able to go to college and whatnot because you were in the military. And what if you were up for a promotion and then this asshole over here was saying, no, sorry, I'm mad about some other shit, so you can't have a promotion. I feel like this guy could get defeated next time he's up if he gets a good primary challenger, even somebody from his right. Tuberville is pretty conservative, but it would be if he got a challenger from his right who just kind of pounded on this during the primary. I think the guy could lose his seat. Now, like I said, I'm not some big military guy. Y'all know that, but like just stopping people that are like doing their jobs from getting a promotion, even if it's in the military, yeah, they're going to hate you for it. And so are the people that their friends, their family, everybody's going to hate you for it. And it's not just Tuberville. It's going to spill out over onto the rest of the GOP. I don't think it'll be a big factor in the 2024 election, but I think I don't like in the general, but like I said, somebody could in fact primary this guy, and they could use this as the wedge, and they might win on it. Up next, we got RFK Jr. Talking about the DNC and the elites. I love listening to Kennedy, who's married to a rich actress, tell me about the elites. I don't know how you feel about it.
Democratic Party has had this very interesting shift. When my uncle was president, my father was in, the Democratic Party was where the people who were poor and working people were. And today, 70% of the wealth in this country is owned by the Democratic Party and only 30% the Republican Party. The top richest counties in this country, 9 of the 10 are Democratic counties. So there is this kind of shift in wealth that maybe is one of the reasons that Democrats do not seem to be talking to or for working people anymore. You know, my father used to bring us to Southeast Washington to meet people who were poor, or he'd take us to the Mississippi.
My father used to take us to meet the poor is not really the flex you think it is, RFK Jr.
Delta or West Virginia, to Appalachia or the Indian reservations, and he always said to us, these are your people. He said the people who are wealthy, who are the big corporate leaders and titans, they don't need the Kennedys. They have lawyers and they have PR firms and they have lobbyists. And he said, when you grow older, I want you to do something about those people. And that's one of the reasons that I'm running.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
If you like this video...
My very rich family took me to observe the poors. Get the fuck out of here. So those counties, by the way, they're all in like big cities. So yeah, big cities are more expensive, and as such, wages are higher. Things like minimum wage increase, but also there's just more like tech jobs, there are more law firms, more professional jobs for more people. And so the basically the economy is overheated, and like inflation, cities are like kind of inflated versus like non-cities. So that's like why those are all Democrat controlled, is because they're cities. It's just the way it is. It's been that way for a very long time, that people in cities tend to vote for Democrats. I don't know why they think it's something else. It's not. It's mostly that. And again, just property values higher, wages are higher in cities. So they're going to tend to be the richest districts in the country. For a while, San Jose, California, where I lived, was the richest city in the country. And everybody there wasn't rich. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, here's Mike Huckabee on his late night show, which apparently Mike Huckabee has a late night show. And he's going to talk about this election might be the last election decided by ballots instead of bullets, which is crazy talk. And as always, shout out to Right Wing Watch. Could not do the show without you.
Opponents to those in power are dealt with in third world dictatorships, banana republics, and communist regimes? Well, it's simple. The people in power use their police agencies to arrest their opponents for made-up crimes in an attempt to discredit them, bankrupt them, imprison them, exile them, or all of the above. And if you're not paying attention, you may not realize that Joe Biden is using exactly those tactics to make sure that Donald Trump is not his opponent in 2024. Here's the problem. If these tactics end up working to keep Trump from winning or even running in 2024, it is going to be the last American election that will be decided by ballots rather than bullets.
They've been saying this for a long time. There's an implicit threat in there, right? Like, it's like, well, you know, you hold people accountable that we don't want you to hold accountable, we might get shooty. Now, he didn't say that, but that's implied. That's like heavily implied. And anybody who tells you that it isn't heavily implied is just lying to you, because this has been like the line that they've been running basically since Obama. And I know they probably were running this line before, but it got real intense under Obama. And I don't actually want that to happen. I don't want an election to get shooty. I'm not a big electoral politics guy, right? You know, we're going to have to cover the election just like every other political streamer is, but I'm not a big, you know, electoral politics guy. I like to talk about like the issues and the like kind of how we got here is like what I like to talk about. That's why we do the Cults and Satanic Panic show, and that's a big reason we do Conspiracy Bingo. I mean, those shows are fun, but it's also like a how we got here sort of thing. But how we got here is going to become largely irrelevant if people start fucking getting shooty on election day. That's why we're keeping an eye on Shasta. Also, we have some people up there, but it'll start somewhere like Shasta. Anyway, up next, here's the 5, Fox News, the 5. It's sort of like when this show used to be a panel show, but like with a bigger budget and dumber people. And here's Greg Gutfeld on how he's not punching down, actually.
Is the AG right?
I don't agree with the AG on this. I think if a child makes a decision like this, the parents should be notified. We notify parents anytime a number of things happen in school during the day with a child. We don't have any consensus in our country around how we should treat trans people.
Polling shows there's a consensus about how to treat trans people. Luckily enough, and the numbers are falling a little bit, unfortunately, but luckily enough, most people are like, we should treat them with respect. And at the very least, just leave them alone and let them live their lives.
I tend to agree with some of the arguments that we make around the table and theories that, and even as sometimes we all get emotional about it, because I have a young daughter also. I try to hesitate. I know we all do to punch, or even to punch down. And
this is not punching down, Harold. This is not punching down.
Greg, can I just finish my point?
Sure.
Look, I tend to agree with you on some things. But my only point is, I don't believe this Artemis is doing this because she wants all of this attention. My only point is, not at all. We've got to figure out how we deal with this issue.
It's called mental illness. This is a mentally ill person.
But Greg, she's not. If say that is true, Artemis is not the only one then, because these stories are populating our docket to talk about every. So whatever it is, we've got to figure out how we deal with it.
Because the children are being presented with this at the age of 6, and now they're starting to buy into it.
So that could be part of this. But I do think parents have to be notified of these things. So my only sense, we're not going to build a consensus here. This is not to suggest that you punch down Greg or anybody. I'm only saying there's some who do. We're dealing with this, I think, at a much higher level. I think we're dealing with it at a higher level.
When we do this topic, we actually punch up, knowing the amount of hell that we will get talking about this. Yeah. The moment we do this segment, we will all be called transphobes. Yep. People will try to harass us. Mm-hmm. It's actually punching up to try to talk about something that has been somehow an electric fence has been placed around it by the media to scare the crap out of parents. That's all I'm saying about the punching down. I don't know if you meant that. I don't know.
So this guy's definition of anytime that somebody claps back at you, you must therefore be punching up. Like Harold Ford Jr., I disagree with him on some of the substance of what he was saying, but he's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be punching down at these people. And I think that's fairly reasonable. Greg Gutfeld got mad and was like, this is mental illness. This is blah, blah, blah. The problem is the mental health field has been pretty clear and speaks pretty much with one voice on this, that affirming this as early as possible helps the most people most of the time. And when they're like, oh, it's being presented to people at 6, no, that's first grade. Most of this isn't being presented to people at 6. I bet most of the time when this stuff comes up in a first grade classroom, it's because one of the kids has queer parents or whatever, and so the other kids start making fun of them, or maybe they're not even making fun of them, maybe they're just asking questions, and so it's the job of the teachers to maybe talk about it a little bit. But I don't think it's happening the way that it's being described here. I think most teachers do their best to try to talk about things in an age appropriate way. Anyway, now we're going to start talking about weather and natural disasters. We're first going to do Marjorie the Gathering. She's going to talk about Burning Man. She went on the InfoWars show to talk about the storm that happened at Burning Man. I have some thoughts on the storm that happened at Burning Man, but they're not going to be the same as the thoughts that maybe Marjorie the Gathering has.
I want to talk about Burning Man for a minute. We are watching, from a distance. There are approximately like 73 or 75,000 people in Nevada.
And they're locked in there from floods. And I'm glad I was going to raise that. They literally did a mock sacrifice and all this, and then it flooded with these tornadoes. And it was, sorry, go ahead.
A mock sacrifice. Yo, he's talking about burning the man. He's just talking about how they burned the man. He's like, they did a mock sacrifice and then they're fucking there was no tornado there. Was there a tornado at Burning Man? A tornado at Burning Man would be a fucking humanitarian disaster. There was no tornado at Burning Man. What the shit is this guy talking about?
And for a minute, we are watching, from a distance. There are approximately like 73 or 75,000 people in Nevada.
And they're locked in there from floods. And I'm glad I was going to raise that. They literally did a.
Also, they weren't locked in there by floods. They couldn't get out. Vehicles couldn't move. And the organizers were just telling people, don't try to move your vehicle. You're not going to be able to do it. And we're going to have an even worse problem if y'all try to fucking drive out of here.
Mock sacrifice and all this, and then it flooded with these tornadoes. And it was, sorry, go ahead.
Well, God has a way of making sure everyone knows who God is. I'll say that about that. But let's talk about what is happening to these people.
So, but that's not a tornado, right? That's a fucking, what do they call? They call them like dust devils or whatever.
There's 73, 75,000 people in Nevada desert right now at this Burning Man. They're locked in. They're not allowed to leave. And they're basically probably being brainwashed that climate change is the cause of all of it. Well, it's the root of all evil, and it's going to destroy the earth. And they're feeling the panic and
the media is saying that. Oh, this is because you didn't know about climate change.
Yes. So what's going to happen?
Fine, they have Modelo.
It's the same thing, same way they launch any kind of movement. After this is over in Burning Man, and these 75,000 people disperse and they go back home, they're going to have these stories to tell and how terrible it is and how we have to do everything possible to stop climate change. It's caused by humans, and it's carbon, and it's the amount of carbon that we put out. It's manufacturing. It's our gas and diesel engines. It's agriculture. I mean, AOC wants to get rid of cattle. Even population. We have too many humans putting out too much carbon. You're going to start hearing all this stuff, and this is going to build. And I believe this is the left's new lie they're going to put on the American people and try to get everyone behind and create it to where, remember AOC and the left and many others said that the earth is going to literally explode in a ball of fire. We're going to all die. It's going to be the end of the world.
2030.
This is what they're brainwashing people to believe.
No, I totally agree. And now Biden.
So I actually listened to a lot of interviews with people who got out of Burning Man. One of the reasons is I listen to a lot of tech podcasts, and there are a lot of tech people that went to Burning Man. So there are kind of interviews with a lot of kind of well-to-do people who went there. And I maybe heard climate change mentioned once over the course of 5 interviews. And the one where you would have thought that climate change would have been mentioned would be on like Casey Newton's podcast, Hard Fork. And it wasn't mentioned at all. The guy just talked about how terrifying it was that like at the beginning, he didn't know how long he was going to be there. He didn't know if it was going to be a couple days or like 2 weeks. And he was like worried that, people were going to run out of food. And then when people started running out of food, like were people going to start like trying to steal things? And was going to be violence? That was like the kind of stuff I heard people like talking about, like that, what their concerns were. I didn't really hear a lot of mention of climate change. And I don't really hear anybody talking about this in that way more broadly. It's not that nobody is. It's just that's not the big talking point. One of the bigger talking points I'm hearing about it is maybe these festivals out in the fucking middle of the desert aren't such a great idea because something like a rainstorm can really fuck shit up for people. Anyway, up next we got Steve Schultz from Elijah's List with a guy, Destiny Encounters, not Steve Destiny, obviously, but it'd be pretty funny to see Steve Destiny on fucking the Elijah's List show. But they're going to talk about whether or not a dragon was responsible for the Hawaii wildfires. And yeah, I just said a dragon. I don't mean a demon, like a metaphor. I mean, like, it's a demonic dragon. But was it a dragon? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm thinking it probably wasn't a dragon, but I don't know. It'd be pretty cool if dragons showed up.
The islands of Hawaii were the very first
state to legalize abortion. And I said, there's an open door in these islands that if it's not closed, I had seen a dragon that was going to come, and there was going to be a very demonic attack against the islands. And when I had seen it in a vision, it came to me, and I saw this dragon, literally
Jewish space dragon,
blowing fire onto the islands. And I told the people, I said, there must be significant intercession to close this door, and there must be a turning in this state from
DEW stands for Dragon Energy Weapon.
From the legalization of abortion.
Wow.
Because there's another event that's coming that is going to be like what happened at Pearl Harbor again. And if this door is not closed, I said it will be so significant that many people's lives will be lost. And I said in particular that there was a targeting of children because of the issue of abortion. And I had given that a year before.
Yo, it was a Dragon Energy Weapon. That Elijah's List show, it never fucking fails to deliver. He found this guy just has, he has a better collection of kooks than I do, right? Like, I'm pretty proud of our collection of kooks around here, but that Steve Schultz guy, he's just like working overtime collecting kooks. There's no dragon. This isn't because like abortion got legalized in Hawaii before in any other state. It was just a horrible situation where a wildfire happened. And thankfully for some of the people that were able to get into the ocean, more people would have died if they weren't able to just jump in the ocean. Like there was a humanitarian disaster and people lost their homes. It wasn't a dragon. Here's Tim Burton, fake historian. Only God can save us from wildfires. It's sort of like remember Smokey the Bear was like, only you can stop forest fires. Well, fuck Smokey the Bear, actually. Just pray about it.
As our nation has become increasingly secular, we have looked to the government. In life, there's two options. You either have a big government or a big God. And the more we've forgotten God, the more we've looked to government to be our provider, to be our savior. And what we have seen, especially under the Biden administration, glaring reality is that the government can never be our savior. The government can never provide for us the things we should be looking to God to provide for us, whether it be the hope, the comfort, the safety, security that we know as believers we can find in God. We find in Christ. We don't find that in government. And this should be a wake-up call for everybody looking.
Wait, he's got a wall builder shirt on. Who the fuck does he think is going to build the wall?
To solve their problems. We don't look to government to solve our problems. We have a God that solves problems. The government's role is to protect our God-given rights, not to come in and try to replace God, but to protect what God has already given us.
Okay, well, shout out to Right Wing Watch. That guy's stupid. I'm going with Smokey Bear. Only you can prevent forest fires, but it's not just you. Like sometimes these forest fires are caused by like Pacific Gas and Electric. It's pretty good at fucking causing forest fires. But that's anyway. We're done with our crazy weather part of the show, and looks like we have a palate cleanser. Thanks to Allie Drew for sending us our palate cleanser this week. This is from Facebook Reels. So who knows what happens when I hit play here? Anything could fucking happen. Is there can I full screen this? I have no idea how Facebook Reels work.
You love being on your knees. Land on your feet. A man lands on his feet. Girls get on their knees.
I might get a lot of hate for this, but as a woman, I kind of agree with him. I'm on my knees a lot, sometimes for hours, sometimes all day. Because burying a body isn't all fun and games. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's super rewarding and I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. But it is a thankless job and there are some tough days. It's not for the faint of heart, so I wouldn't expect you to dirty your fragile little knees. Typically, homophobes, transphobes, and sexists are simply not strong enough for this type of work, but I'm sure you're good at other things. For your other comment, men do not always land on their feet. I've thrown my male prisoners down flights of stairs on multiple occasions, and they always land on their face. And they usually don't recover, which is why I'm always on my knees. And they definitely get on their knees when they're begging for mercy, which I do show them sometimes because I am a very generous ruler. And hey, if you don't believe me, come on down and see it for yourself. We'd love to have you. Right, boys?
You love being on your knees. Land on your
She's great. I love that lady's videos. She's funny as shit. And she always goes after these sort of masculinity influencer guys. And like, I'm glad she's doing it sort of, because she's like a pretty girl. And like pretty girls, or any kind of girl, actually, they hate those fucking masculinity influencer guys. And they hate like the dudes who fucking believe that shit. That shit just makes it harder for young men to like date and mate. It's because they go out there with these unrealistic expectations of women, and then they have unrealistic expectations for themselves, and it kind of shines through it because they're fucking insecure. And it's you know, it's fucked up. It doesn't work well for anybody. But I guess it's good fodder for us, but I wish that shit wasn't going on. I wish there were better, role models for young men. But the problem is, like, it's not going to be me. And like most people who are good role models for young men are actually being good role models for young men in their community. They're not going out and trying to be a masculinity influencer. You have people like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is a good role model, I think, for young men, a very kind person. Generally has, good takes on things, and shockingly enough, in today's day and age, I know shit about him getting a little handsy and shit with people. So, maybe we on the left could do a little bit of a better job with this stuff. But also, like, I think as soon as you start trying to do that, you're going to end up giving people a lot of bad advice, no matter who you are, no matter how well-intentioned you are, because your advice isn't like one-size-fits-all advice isn't going to work.
Yes, for electricity.
So this clip is windmills. You remember when windmills were giving people cancer and killing the birds? Well, the windmills are actually also killing the whales.
Yes, for electricity. These people are telling sub-Saharan Africa, you have to stay in the dark and not develop your fossil fuels because we say so. This is keeping 1 billion people in the dark, Senator, because they say so. It's essentially climate colonialism. It's racist.
Dagan, there's 1,600 scientists from around the world that just joined in a declaration led by 2 Nobel laureates that said we are not in a climate emergency, that all this climate change alarmism is based on bad science, completely ignoring the impact of clouds to basically be a heat sink. The climate has always changed, always will. I'm not alarmist, I'm not in denial, but we've spent over $5 trillion globally on climate change. We haven't moved the needle, according to climate alarmists. I mean, how much more are we going to waste? These windmills, according to an earlier report on your network, are killing the whales.
Yeah.
What?
Again, this whole climate.
I thought they were killing the birds and giving people windmill cancer.
Toward control over our lives. It's economically destructive. It's why we are experiencing inflation and high energy prices. But that's all this president is focused on.
So, yeah, I mean, people that he would call climate alarmists are saying we haven't moved the needle, but that's just because it seems like the planet continues to warm. Every year is the hottest year on record, hotter than the next. And I don't know. I think we're fucked. I don't think we're going to be able to fix this problem. And I don't think Mars is inhabitable. And I don't know, but I just think, I just know that the people who are like sort of trying to downplay it have probably caused, like, done a lot more harm than a lot of people think. I think, after I'm dead and gone, I think that there's going to be some horrific things that happen to the people of Earth and to other animals. We're not going to really know as much about what's happening to the other animals, I don't think, but it's going to be a shit show. There's going to be wars over resources. It's going to be fucked up. It's going to be like refugee crises like you've never seen. And I mean, I won't be here for it, but I know people. My sister has a kid. I know other people with kids. Those kids will probably be here for it, and that's fucked up. Here's this appears to be Marjorie the Gathering. And she's asking about tax rates in the Ice Age.
people are not affecting climate change. You're going to tell me that back in the Ice Age, how much taxes did people pay and how many changes did governments make to melt the ice? The climate is going to continue to change. And there is no reason to just open up our borders and allow everyone in and continue to funnel over $50 billion or however many billions of dollars or trillions of dollars to foreign countries all over the world simply because they don't like the climate change. Mr. Chairman.
Simply because they don't like the climate change. I think it's like more like people, there's going to be refugee crises because people aren't going to be able to live where they used to live. Their lands will become uninhabitable. And when that happens, migration happens. Human beings or any other kind of animal. It's not really a thing that you choose. Here's a David Barton. He's going to do a no true Christian fallacy on slavery. Should be fun.
God's curse of slavery came out of the Jamestown colony, a money-oriented colony. They were evangelical Christians, but they weren't biblical Christians. They weren't thinking biblically. They were making money and great, whatever. But out of that, you get avarice, lust, ignorance, superstition, secession, rebellion, the Dred Scott decision, Kansas-Nebraska Act, fugitive slave law, the compromise of 1850, the Missouri Compromise. All the bad policies came out of that mentality. Now, if you take the top one, and those are all professing Christians, if you take the top one up top, the book up there, the red and yellow book, it says the Bible on the end. So that's a colony built on the Bible. It wasn't built on economics. And out of that, you have intelligence, obedience to law, equal rights, love of country, philanthropy, benevolence, happiness, patience, charity, faith, hope, peace, honor, truth, virtue, justice, morality. All the good stuff comes out.
All the good things.
Now, this was what we taught in schools in the 1880s, is there's two Americas, and one of them is not biblical. And there's a whole lot of Christians today that are not biblical. They're professing Christians, but they couldn't put a verse to most of the policies the Pilgrims came up with. And so that's why it's significant to be a biblical Christian, not just a professing Christian.
Again, shout out to Right Wing Watch. Could not do the show without them. That's stupid. Like, somebody tells me there's this religion or that religion, I just fucking believe them. I'm not religious, and I'm not the religion police. And these people are like dead and gone too, and aren't even around to defend themselves. Up next, we got, I guess another palate cleanser, I suppose. This is LeVar Burton talking about the strikes in Hollywood. And as always, LeVar Burton is a treasure.
Well, in terms of my message to the people inside the gates, abject greed is not a good look. In fact, it's pretty ugly. And there are families who are struggling out here and suffering and are willing to do so for a fair and equitable contract for all of us. And we're not going anywhere. So get right, get real, or get gone, because your Wall Street partners aren't happy campers right now. Y'all are losing profits, head over heels, hand over fist. And I know that there are meetings happening in back rooms all over this town. And so, greed, it isn't good for any of us. So let's get real. Let's come back to the table. Let's make a fair and equitable deal, and let's get back to work.
It's kind of neat seeing like the more famous people out there, like, because he don't need the money, right? And it's good to see that the more famous, more well-to-do people are out there, like advocating for the people that work in their industry. You don't really see that in a lot of other industries. So that's good. LeVar Burton, a bit of a treasure. We've played other clips of him talking about other issues. I think one of the better ones we played was one where he talked about critical race theory, and what he said was pretty fucking spot on, as usual. Now, here's two people who are famous who were not spot on. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis went ahead and wrote a letter in support of Danny Masterson to the court after Danny Masterson was convicted of multiple rape charges. And here's their little apology video, which seems like a lawyer wrote it.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years.
Yeah, but he did that 20 years ago. Like when y'all were thick as thieves is when he did that. Like that's when what the fuck? Who wrote this for you?
That the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read, and not to undermine the testimony of the victim.
It's like nobody told us these were a matter of public record, you dumb fucks.
Or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse, or rape.
Except like people they knew what was going on at one point because there was like a whisper network about it. And you think they didn't hear none of the whispers? They heard the whispers. There's a clip of a night, like a late night host fucking just kind of telling Masterson that everybody knows what's going on. It was kind of ominous. I forget which one it was. I think it might have been Conan, who I don't even really like that much, who was like, oh, everybody knows about you. You'll get caught. And I was like, whoa, that was trippy. Anyway, this is interesting. This is the Great Dinosaur Debate. This is part of a longer video, but they were nice enough to give us a timestamp. So here we go. We're going to talk about whether or not dinosaurs existed.
We have these little dinosaurs right here because we've kind of jokingly talked about how do we know really what dinosaurs looked like. Today we have all these depictions of dinosaurs with they're sure that their skin looked like this, that they sounded like this, that they looked like this. And how do we know? I'm skeptical about the modern rendering of dinosaurs. How do we know that dinosaurs really existed and that they weren't just big hippopotamuses?
What the fuck?
Well, first of all, you need to be skeptical about what they actually look like, simply because...
Is that Ken Ham? That's fucking Ken Ham.
When they find dinosaur bones, they really only find a few. There's not that many. Now, we have a reconstruction of a dinosaur skeleton at the Creation Museum. It's a big one. It's an Allosaurus. It's said to be the best Allosaurus skull ever found. It's 97% complete. Yeah. And the secularists hated the fact that we were donated that. It's worth over $1 million. And there were a few other bones found, and so based on other bones that have been found and other deposits, they're able to sort of reconstruct the bones of that dinosaur. But they don't find all the bones of a dinosaur when they find those. But first of all, do I believe in dinosaurs? And the answer is yes.
Oh well, fucking at least we got that.
Let me explain. People say, but the Bible doesn't have the word dinosaur in it. It doesn't say God created dinosaurs. Well, it doesn't have the word email in it either, right? Because email is a modern word. The word dinosaur is a modern word. It wasn't invented until 1841 by a man called Sir Richard Owen. He was a famous British anatomist, founded the British Museum of Natural History. And in 1841, from two Greek words, dinios and saurus, he invented the name dinosaur, which means terrible lizard. That's why most people think dinosaurs are all great big monsters. And what had happened was, back in the early 1800s, some would say it even goes back to the 17th century, but that bones were found. But really, the first bones that were really found and named were in 1822 by a lady whose husband was interested in fossils and so on. And they found the bones of a creature called Iguanodon. So Iguanodon and then Megalosaurus were the first two. And Sir Richard Owen realized there's this group of animals we're finding in the fossil record that have certain distinguishing characteristics. And so he invented the name dinosaur. Now, since
this is fucking, we can't possibly run any more of this. I should have put that in red light because that would have been fun to run for a long time. He's like, I do believe in dinosaurs, but there's a lot of weird shit in the but part. We would I would advise people not to listen to Ken Ham on dinosaurs. And I liked how the fucking the host was like, well, I don't even, did they even exist? Or were they just a hippopotamus? They might have just been a hippopotamus. They were the hippopotami of their day. Anyway, I tried not to cover this next one. There was this fucking human thumb looking guy who had a big old meltdown about pronouns in a video game or something. And I can't not cover it because his response to people making fun of him is just amazing. It's just absolutely fucking amazing. Check this out.
Man has opinion about video game. Internet goes absolutely nuclear crazy about opinion on video game. Is this actually about opinion on video game? No, this has nothing to do with opinion on video game. This has everything to do with going after the far left sacred cow of gender ideology. I'm not going to treat you like you don't know what is actually going on. Towards the beginning of the game, the character creation, we were greeted with a pronoun option, so very current day of Bethesda, because it appears at some point during the last couple of years, Pete Hines seems to have forgotten what gender he is. Never mind.
Well, he didn't, though. It says he, him in his bio.
So I went on a little bit of a rant to my streaming audience because I was unhappy with the fact that in every aspect of our entertainment today, we seem to be pulled out because the people creating it are more concerned with inserting current day into absolutely everything.
Wait, they seem to be putting current day. The modern art reflects the modern world. Human thumb gets angry.
I love nothing more than, with all of that laid out in front of me, I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us. Sorry, did you want to get...
You can current day us?
Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day Californian shit! Because that's all we fucking know! Because we're boring! We're so fucking boring! We can't see past our own fucking reflection! That's the level of our narcissism here! But this was tweeted out by Hassan Piker after Dan Vask had put the video out and it went a tinge viral. And he says, this weird British guy... Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough. Losing his mind over selecting pronouns in Starfield is the perfect demonstration for why we must bring back lobotomy. Oh, well, Hassan, at least they would be able to lobotomize me. You, however, I don't think they would actually find enough brain cells. And if you don't know who this guy is, let me introduce you to him.
So you said America deserved 9/11. Did you mean that?
Yeah. And that other person that he was being interviewed by was his uncle, Cenk Uygur. Let's see what Cenk Uygur has to say about certain things, shall we?
If I were the benevolent dictator of the world, I would legalize bestiality where you are giving, where you are pleasuring the animal. You see what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know, like...
Okay. Why? Why did that happen?
I don't know, Cenk. Maybe it had something to do with the, I don't know, fucking animals part. What the hell is wrong with your family, dude? So needless to say that I'm pretty okay with having a conflicting opinion to somebody like Hassan. But this isn't just about pronouns. That's the disingenuous argument that people want to latch onto so that you don't talk about the gender ideology and the intersectionality that's been rammed into every single solitary facet of our entertainment, from video games to TV, film, comics, etc.
This guy's got like dolls behind him. I'm sorry, action figures. Like, this is just always a big red flag when I see any somebody's like, oh, there's this channel, and I look and there's fucking dolls, action figures. I don't know. Behind a guy like in my age cohort. I'm like, it's gonna be a problem. This guy's gonna be a fucking idiot.
Etc. Fucking pronouns! Now, did I have that reaction because I'm a nasty, naughty transformophobia? No, I had that reaction because it was so obvious because we're dealing with current day gaming company. In actual fact, you could go far as to say we're dealing with current day entertainment in the West. Then we have The Act Man, a React channel that has 1.8 million subscribers, getting mad because a person reacted to a game. By the way, this person...
I mean, he's doing React content. He's reacting to you.
Recently being cancelled, having his YouTube channel demonetized / pulled down because he was attacked for having an opinion about something and exercising his right to do.
Yeah, but nobody pulled your YouTube channel down. They just made fun of you. Like, these people are just so soft. I think basically PJ is the one who always uses that terminology. They're just so soft. Like, yo, yeah, like other streamers are going to make fun of you. I'm sure there's like a streamer out there who made fun of me. I just never heard about it. If I saw a clip of a streamer making fun of me, I'd be like, oh, I guess that streamer is making fun of me.
Do so. Now, he's actually jumping on that bandwagon to attack somebody who is exercising their right to have an opinion. I guess turnaround is fair play, hey? Don't worry about the hypocrisy of it.
But he didn't call for you to like have your channel taken away. He just accurately described what you did, actually. Now that I look at the first sentence, I'm like, yeah, that seems like the video I saw.
Dude, you do you. So his tweet starts off with gorilla-shaped man, which, by the way, I can't take any other way than a compliment in Silverback, baby. On the verge of crying, we've already had to go into a lie because you want to embellish your information.
No, I'm surprised he didn't cry.
Man, yes. Ranty man, yes. Angry man, yes. Crying, no. Just say it how it is. If you feel comfortable with his position, why lie? Because Starfield lets you pick pronouns at the start of the game and then is never brought up again. Well, if it's never brought up again, why do you even have to pick the pronouns? And you would have a better point of argument here if the game allowed you to skip the pronoun nonsense. What are your pronouns? Skip. Because the game understands that when you've picked the...
Wait, did this guy just choose another my pronouns are skip and skip?
Male character, you have male pronouns. And when you pick the female character, you have female pronouns. So if it's never brought up again, what is the issue? What is the problem? Why is it even there? It's there to compel you to do so. It's there to compel you to participate in the gender ideology that they've shoved into the game. But again, you're being disingenuous because you're not even addressing the rest of the argument, which is the fact that this is shoved into all types and kinds of our entertainment here in the West. Fucking pronouns!
Yo, he was like, oh, I'm going to get them. I'm going to do a video about them and I'm going to fucking show them. Well, you just played yourself. That guy, like, I think even Hamburglar Dan Badandi would probably make fun of that guy. Even though Hamburglar Dan Badandi agrees with that guy, I feel like our buddy over there, Hamburglar Dan, would definitely make fun of that guy.
At least you're leaving somebody else alone. That's what I could say.
So up next, we got this is from a Trump rally, and this is a lady, strangely enough, with purple and blue hair, telling you how not to raise liberal kids.
So hey, tell me about your shirt.
My shirt says just a regular mom trying not to raise liberals.
So how do you not raise liberals?
First of all, you homeschool. I'm homeschooling my 3 kids.
How do you make sure they don't grow up to be socialists?
Pray.
You pray every day?
Yes, pray every day.
Yeah, and that's one way to help, fight against the indoctrination.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely. It's forced indoctrination.
Yes, and I don't know why we have to pay for that as taxpayers. They should be paying me for homeschooling my kids.
And think about how many women have come out and said that Obama was sexually molested them or
I think 0. I think we're looking at the number. I think the number we're looking for is 0. The motherfucker's squeaky clean. I mean, outside of his foreign policy record.
No women are going, hey, he was mean to me. No women.
Yeah, no, it's a little suspicious that not one woman came out and said that Obama sexually assaulted me. No, there was no allegations of harassment or assaults for Obama at all. And that is, that's funny. I never thought of it that way. Thank you. Yep. But there's tons for Trump. we're doing a big whole thing on the socialist agenda. What are some ways we can stop the socialist agenda?
Oh, goodness. You know, we could start with those journals. Can we throw those out?
Journals?
Yes. Kids were started to journal about 30 years ago. And
Kids did 30 years ago. Did you know 30 years ago, the year was 1993, and the diary was invented. Oh, she doesn't mean that one.
And this was the government's way to keep an eye on our children, is through these journals.
Someone writing in their diary is a way for the government to sort of, keep tabs on you.
Yes, so they would ask questions like, do you have a stepmother or a stepfather, or do you have a
No, that's not. No. Like a diary is just like a notebook. It could be anything. It's just empty pages where, like a child or even an adult just kind of logs their thoughts for the day or the week or the month.
Or do you have 2 bedrooms? And so they calculate these findings, and the more that they have that fit into the category, the more government funding that they get.
At first I thought she was going to say we should ban scientific journals, but this was way more fun.
Stop journaling. Stop writing in your diary. What are some things we can get rid of in order to fight the socialist agenda?
Get rid of Amazon.
Get rid of Facebook.
Get rid of Facebook. Let's get rid of Netflix. Let's get rid of Hulu.
What did Hulu do? What do you mean? Like, these are just company, like, they have like whole kids sections and shit too. Anyway, that was crazy. Up next, this is Thoughtonomics. This Incel's gonna incel. It's just one of the, we cover these every once in a while. Again, like, there are problems. Young men have problems. Everybody has problems, but young men have some problems. And some of those problems are unique to young men. And shit like this is actually just going to make it worse. Here we go. Here is a guy named Pierre Coutani, and he's going to do Thoughtonomics. Intro to Homatics 2.0. Solution to 75. Oh my fucking God.
Okay. This video is intended to save lives. You might ask me, do I have these glasses on just for the purpose of this video? I cannot tell you that information, and I will not be able to disclose it just yet. However, Thoughtonomics, Red Flags, Intro to Homatics 2. This is going to be very dense, so pay attention. Number 1, stay away from all of these women. Tattoos, number 1. Namely, red dragon tattoo.
Not just, namely red dragon tattoos.
Or any small hearts in this area. If you sign up for that, you dug yourself a grave. I can no longer help you. None of this material will help you. Okay? Septum piercing. If your woman looks like a bull, stay away. Why does she look like that? Okay? Third, cars. Everybody in the right mind knows that a real woman cannot drive a motor vehicle.
What?
If she can drive a motor vehicle, that either means she's been around tons of dudes, or she is a dude.
Or she just has places to go.
In which case, I don't have to keep going. Get away from that, okay? Hair, what color? Blue, pink, green, purple, yellow. Run away. If it's a natural hair color but it's dyed, you're playing a dangerous game, but you can still do it, okay? Dark. This is referring to skin.
Oh no.
I'm not going to talk about anything here for fear that I might lose my account.
Oh no. I thought he meant like dresses in dark clothing like a goth or something when I saw that. I didn't think he was just going to straight up be like only date white girls. But I guess he's going to just be like only date white girls.
But Hassan, Mr. Overpaid, has great content relating to this. Please reference his material. It's very all-inclusive. Okay? Now, if you go with any of these, science says the body count is at least 75. At minimum. Okay? We're talking very minimal numbers here. Now, 75 bodies times 6 inches times 100 strokes each. Okay? And
oh no, there's like a fucking pussy odometer in this now.
this is being modest is equal to 45,000 inches. Okay? 45,000 inches is 1,143 meters, equal to 10.9 soccer fields, for you British folks, or 4.6 HMS Bismarck battleships. Can you take that much power and force? So why are you with a girl that can? Do you see my logic here? So you need to be able to either take out 4.6 battleships, okay, or fight people equating to 10.9 football teams times 2, because there's 2 teams on each field, or you need to break up with this woman, okay? This is very serious because it's going to feel all good handy-dandy for 2-3 months, but here you go with a girl that has tattoos, a septum piercing, can drive a Ferrari, and blue hair, and then all of a sudden you have 11 kids on hormone replacement therapy.
Wait, what?
Okay, so I'm trying to save your life. I would advise that you take it. Start from the top, work down, study this material. Okay, these equations were provided to me by Professor X on Twitter. I can't release his handle for other political reasons, but just know. Okay, and take this to the bank and deposit it.
Yeah, I'm starting to think we got. And by we, I mean me. I'm starting to think by the end it got too ridiculous. The pussy odometer part of it specifically. I'm like, yeah, I think I got. I think I got. I don't know. You can look in the the show notes, I guess, on the podcast, and if you're in the Twitter, if you're in the Twitch, you can hit !docket to get a thing. Because I just took a quick look at the comments, and I'm not sure. I'm like 60-40 though that I got here, maybe even 70-30 that I got because it got too crazy. It got just a little too turbo there. Anyway, we got 2 more before we go into red light, everybody. We made it almost 2 hours tonight, almost the perfect docket, though we're not going to quite get to 2 hours, I don't think. Up here, we got Charlie Kirk's guest, as you'll be able to tell, knows everything about the non-whites.
People who think that this is not going to make him more relatable with non-whites don't know non-whites, like the real non-white population in this country. We interviewed somebody the other day, and basically, Charlie.
Yo, this guy's got a 72-hour food kit behind him. Who is Rich Barris?
I just never would believe I would hear a young African American man talk about a billionaire white guy like this. But he's basically like, now Trump knows how we feel. He's got the best chance to take it to the man. He's got the best chance to take it to the system. And I can't stand the system. So the biggest FU I could give him is vote for Donald Trump.
I'm getting word from my chat that this guy tends to block people on Twitter there. This guy doesn't know like what fucking people of color think about this. This is like a talking point that they've been trying to run. And it's a little bit racist, but it's also really stupid. I think like a lot of people who have interacted with the justice system are probably feeling a little cathartic about this, right? They're like they're finally seeing the justice system interact with the powerful person, and it looks like the powerful person might get their comeuppance here. And I feel like that's more likely the point of view of people who have interacted with the justice system. And I don't think that's necessarily, it's disproportionately people of color, but that's because of racism. Trump ain't no victim of racism. Anyway, we got one more. And as is often the case, our very last thing on the docket here is one Mr. Jordy Pete. He's going to relay a story from history, but it's actually from the video game Skyfall, which is a callback to, another clip we just watched.
Are we rolling?
Nice rat.
Thanks, man. That's my nickname, is the Rat King.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of... Do you have a nickname?
Do you know what a Rat King is?
Huh?
Do you know what a Rat King is? Oh, my God. It's a terrible story. There is a Rat King. Well, this is the theory now. I don't know if people ever did this. So imagine your village is full of rats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now you go catch 10 rats.
Okay.
You throw them in a pit.
Okay.
Soon, there is one rat, because he gets all the other rats.
He's a champ.
Then you throw 10 more rats in there. Soon there's one rat. You do that 3 or 4 times. Then you take the remaining rat and you let him go. And soon there are no rats in the village.
Really?
That's the theory.
Wow. So it was like the toughest of them all.
Yeah, and then he learns to eat rats.
Wow.
Wow. So I'm getting word from the chat that I was wrong, that this is actually the plot of a James Bond film. I don't know. But it's a lot of times, and it's one of the things they talk about it on Decoding the Gurus podcast. That's sort of like our friends, friends of the intellectual Dollar Tree. They talk about how he often will cite a movie or like a TV show and sort of at the beginning acknowledge that it's a movie or a TV show, but then by the end of it, he's talking about it like it's a historical event that, really, really, really did happen. Anyway, that's been the podcast. We're almost at 2 hours tonight. That's pretty good. Usually lately we've only been able to maybe do an hour 15, an hour and a half, and then we have to turn the lights red way before 9 o'clock, which is generally against the rules around here, but sometimes we got to break the rules. Thanks everybody for listening to the show. Thanks everybody viewing live. Of course, if you're viewing live or you've gotten our show from Patreon or from our membership via Fourth Wall, there's more show. We got some stuff for Red Light. Madison Star Moon got her account back and posted a bunch of crazy shit. We're going to look at that. We got Mike Pillow's employees are stressed out, and then Mike Pillow is deposed, and we have all of the clips that were released to the public of Mike Pillow's deposition, and we're going to watch all of those. And then Lady B Miniatures told me there was a CPAC out in Australia that we should probably check out some of. So we may be doing that late into the night. If you're a podcast listener, that's what you're missing by not hanging out live or not being a patron. Patreon.com/Echoplex or eplex.store. You get the same exact benefits as our patrons, but you also get an automatic discount on anything in our shop. And that's in addition to any promo codes you may find elsewhere on the interwebs and in the now space. As always, this is Boomers by Periscope, and I had to go change the content of my drink, change the color of the lights in this room. Everybody get up, take a bathroom break, whatever you got to do. We'll be back for the post game.